Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to look at whether life is a test. And a lot of religious believers believe this, that life is so complicated that because of the belief in God being omnibenevolent, omniscient and omnipotent, then there must be something about this life that's important for us to try and understand. And they believe that life's a test, and that test improves us. And if you really think about it, imagine what life would be like without suffering and without evil in the world, where you could not worry about anyone because nobody would ever get any disease and nobody would ever have anything bad happen to them. And so the world would be like a different place, really, where you wouldn't worry about people that you love. And you're going to hear from Irenaeus. And what does Irenaeus have to say about this? And his idea that this world that where everything's really nice and everything's hunky-dory, wouldn't be very good at all.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Irenaeus. I was from France. I originally came from Africa, as I told you before. However, I am here today to tell you about my idea about why people believe that the God could be omnibenevolent, omnipotent, omniscient, and still allows the evil and the suffering from happening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite simple. My idea was that actually this is a life, it is a test. It is a test to make you a better human being. And that test is to improve your soul. You see, you start a life with not a very mature soul. And as you go through life, the things that test you and make you worry and make you scared about things and the evil in the world, well, that makes your soul better. So by the time you die, this actually makes the world, your soul, so much better that you go straight to heaven. It's amazing. So this world is a test. Yes, well, let me just explain a little bit more detail about what I mean. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so evil and suffering has to be here. It is here for a purpose, and that purpose is to make you a better person. Imagine what a life would be like without evil in the world. Well, you imagine the person who you love most in the world. What they would happen is that you would love them, but you would not love them as much as you possibly could. It would be like you love your toy when you were a little baby or a little baby girl or a little baby boy. You loved them, but you didn't love them so much that it actually made you hurt. Yeah? Now imagine a world without evil and suffering. It would be like a toy world, a world where things matter, but not all that much. Okay, they matter. It's like made out of toys. Imagine I could open my door and I let the children out and they would never hurt and never suffer, never have any disease. That kind of world it would be. Hey, it would be a bit boring, but you know what I mean. It would not be very good for your soul. Your soul would not get any better. In fact, if it would be so boring that God must have created a world that would make you a better person. And believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, that is what has happened. God has created this world with lots of bad things to happen to make you a better person. So you eventually, that's where you get to. You get to heaven, okay? Now that's what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen of Droitwich Spa, England, evil and suffering is there. It has to allow, God has to make it happen. It's like your mom and dad. They would not want you to go through life without suffering, without learning. Suffering is learning. You get better, so eventually you go to heaven, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think about that? Well, Irenaeus in his toy world, a world where things matter, but not very much. And like your toys when you were a child, the world that we have here now has to be created with these massive problems and with these massive disasters that happen so that human beings suffer and human beings therefore get better. And they get better because not only do they know what bad is, but because they know what bad is, they're able to really appreciate good. And I'm sure you'll understand that the world would be a bit boring, really, if people didn't have suffering, because we wouldn't truly see the really good things and the happiness and the love in the world. Because if there was no such thing as evil and no such thing as suffering, then people would react in the same way as they do to joy and happiness. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, does that disprove the problem of evil? Does God have to create a world where those big sufferings happen and people have to respond to them? And we're going to look at this in the next unit, how do religious people react to suffering. Does it show that God has to be, whilst he is omnibenevolent, omnipotent and omniscient, he has to allow suffering so that we learn from our mistakes and get better so that we can eventually get to heaven possibly? Well, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? What do you think?